I'm going to try and fix something that I messed up last year. Hi guys, Retro Tech Ralph here with another, it's a repair video. Right, I did a video that very few people actually know about. I had this for Christmas, I think it was 3 years ago. It's a Kindle Fire 10, obviously, it shows in the box. This is a Generation 5. It was bought in, I think it was 2018, so it was definitely 3 years ago. Generation 7 came out 2019, so it's definitely a Generation 5. Now, I had a problem with this because I use this all the time when it's sat next to me when I'm watching the television in the front room, and just look for things, search for things, play a couple of games when there's nothing on the television sort of thing. And there was an issue. I came to this one day and it just didn't work, wasn't powering up. I think there's something wrong with the actual power USB charger and that just didn't want to work anymore. So put this into, I was trying to fix it and I found out that there's actually something wrong with the USB port charger on a lot of these. So I was going to do a fix on that. There's either a little fuse inside that's gone or that port's gone. However, right, let me get this out for you. Very nicely packaged, by the way, these come. But yeah, it's a 3-year-old thing. I didn't do a video for it fully. Shall we say, the video I made for this, it was the repair, it was partly to do with this, and then I had an issue. And it comes with gubbins and whatever and chargers and stuff. But here is the tablet, lots of fingerprints. The Generation 5, nice metal back. This is a model SR87MC, as you can barely see right down the bottom of there. They are quite good. I really quite like the size of this, the speed of it, and everything was fine. Disassembly. This will come to why I tried doing the video for this. As you can see, there's a gap there. The port in there, I think actually, looking at it now, I'm not sure if I can show you inside there anyway. Hold on a sec, let me try. I think the centre bit in there is actually broken off and gone down, or it's perfectly fine, it's just my eyes. But I don't think, well, I definitely know this doesn't work. But this needs redoing or something doing anyway. So, follow the online guides last year. Try and get a spudger. This is to start with. This is how you take these to pieces. There is no screws on the back. This is sealed in. I would recommend, if you do this yourself, heat the glue which is holding. This is like nowadays phones. They're all built like this. Glue all around the edge. Use a nice little spudger, playing card, credit card, something that's going to be not too destructive. The problem with it is once you get down to this nice little bit here, which I think is actually the wrong way around, is if you've got the power button on the left, when you've released everything and it's all come loose, make sure you come from the camera side off. Fold it over and then there's this nice little ribbon cable attached right here. That is not my issue, because you're trying to get this up and get this forward, try and get that off. It's a very small ribbon connector there. The locking part is the black part there. Slide the ribbon cable in, lock down, or underneath. Just prise it up and then pull out the cable. Then that frees up the screen, right? So that was going to be all I needed to do. Done, except when I brought it out, I've cracked the living crap out of the actual screen. And I thought for a year now, I thought I would need to buy a full replacement unit like this. This would be dead easy to do if I could find one of these at dirt cheap. And they were really expensive last year, except now they seem to have vanished. So all I'm going to do is, oh look, I bought this, done, sorted, happy, and then have to resolder that. The problem with this is I don't think I destroyed the screen, which is this metal part here. It's just the digitizer, the actual touchscreen part. And I have, at the moment, I have actually ordered one. So I need to separate the touchscreen part from the actual screen. Hopefully it should work okay. I'm actually thinking, we were looking at this, it doesn't seem to be, this part of the ribbon cable around the edge, which I have destroyed in this corner anyway. That's not going back on. That's definitely broken. Yeah. But that was me going in too heavy-handed with that part there. It is difficult to do. Trust me, it will not take 5 minutes. It will probably take quite a while. I'm also thinking, I don't know what this part here is. If this is something in particular and connects maybe from this ribbon cable here, I have taken this off because I think that may be the Wi-Fi connection. But if it does, it goes underneath here all the way to that, which, fine, great, if it's going to be there. If not, it's one of them seals, little tag things that I have on stuff that when you walk out of the shop with it, then it stops you. But I'm not quite sure because I can't get too deep into there just yet. Also on here, if you buy the new digitizer, it will come with this ribbon cable here, over here, this square with a little notch bit on top of there. Very small ribbon cable again on the top of there. Again, raise the brown part up, as you can see inside there, and release and take off. I can't get this off yet because it seems to either stuck down or it wants heating, so I'm going to hold on for a moment with that. It did come with this piece of plastic, the yellow, the black over here, black over here, and the yellow bit over, covering all this lot on, but I have taken that part off if anybody's confused. There are no videos out there for replacing all of this. They're on for Kindle Fires. There's one definitely is for replacing the battery, but it just comes with a price. Off it comes after about 20 minutes. And then replacing the battery, you just lift this up. It just comes straight off the board. It's fine, it just clicks into place. Let me get you in for that one actually, because I'll leave the screen for the time being because that has been ordered. It just pops onto and off of the board. Replacing the battery, I'll give you a clue on that one. These four black tabs here, if you can grab hold of one of them like so and pull, these are actually just like, it's double-sided tape almost, but it is very, very strong stuff. But it runs 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can pull one out, a bit of tweezers, get one out. I'm not replacing the battery on this, by the way. This is just a hint. If you can grab hold of one and then slowly pull little bits out, you'll eventually pull that entire strip out. If you want to go underneath it with a screwdriver and bend the metal case, knacker the battery, fine, be my guest. That's your entire, it's your Kindle, not mine. This is my Kindle, not yours. Done. So, while we're waiting for the actual digitizer to come from China, so for you, it's kind of, oh, hello. If for you, it'll be just another part of this one video. But for me, it's going to take a little bit longer. So, this cable here goes to MLB. I do need to disattach that later, but at the moment, I assume it just goes straight underneath here, and I don't need to do much with that at the minute. Disassembly. Right. I need a pot for parts, and I need to do a little bit of being careful. I need a screwdriver. I think it's not an M5 or it's something for all these nice little screws on here. The way around I've seen to do this, and the way I want to do it, is I need to get this board out, which is start with, just prise up where the camera is, and then the ribbon cable again, just prise that up and slide that out. Done. That's as simple as stage one, shall we say. So that's the rear facing camera. The front facing camera is there. That also wants removing, but there's a screw there and a screw there going through the board. So technically, I'd need to remove this as well. So again, front part of the ribbon cable. Be careful. Whatever you're doing, be careful. Which is not what I did on the first part. Honestly, I made a video, and I'm sure I made a video, and it just kind of, I didn't save it, because I never thought I'd get to this position again of having the confidence in actually trying to repair this. So it's just been sat in here doing nothing. I've actually done 2 other videos before, where I've actually, I've knackered things up, and I've still got the parts for it, just in case. Maybe when I'm big and famous, I'll release those to the public and show you how not to do things. So, speaker cable. This is the left-hand speaker. That needs to be removed out eventually, but this just, again, like the battery, it just pops off of the board. So again, with the right hand speaker, pops off the board. Only 2 connections because it's a speaker, plus and minus, left and right. Well, left and right with the red and the white, yes. That's off, that's off. I need to start removing screws, as well as, I'm going to get you in for this one, up this top corner. Oh, I'm running out of space here. This top corner where we just took the webcam, there is yet another ribbon cable. I think this is for the power, so one way or the other it comes up. I think it's the white bit at the front, yes. And that will just pull out very easily, he says. There we go. So that, apart from the actual front-facing webcam, I'm ready to start removing all of these screws. So, give me a sec, I need to find a screwdriver for this and we'll get on with this. Now with screwdriver to hand, this is a T5 bit. There we go. Very, very small. So I'll start off, I'm going to start taking this corner off here. I know my hand's in the way. Tiny, tiny little screws. So everything goes in the pot. I want to remove this housing, I think. It might not. That might actually just be stuck to the board. So I'll leave that for a second. Right. I want to take this webcam off as well while I'm here. So if I can get you in a little bit, let's have a look, see if we can. I apologise for hand being in the way. I can't do anything with the hand being in the way. I have hands. Oh dear. Sometimes I just give myself quotes that just, yeah. So 2 screws there. I need to try and be able to get that off of there. There we go, it's come off. I think this is also one of, no it's not, that's just the cover. With 2 screws inside it. So that goes into the pot as well. Right, is that just a sticker holding this on? I think it might be. Oh, that just pops off as well. He says. And below, there's a ribbon cable holding everything else on, which I couldn't see. Which is fine, because that now comes off as one piece, as you can see there. So the ribbon cable goes on, and that little QR code sticker then sticks over and holds the other webcam, but the front-facing camera in place. So I need now to do, and I'll do a quick cut for this one. Unscrew here, here, and here. I need to take these 2 off and this speaker out because it's in the way. I don't need to take this speaker out because it's not in the way. Screw here, 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 and here, and there. And that should release this board from the actual housing. All being well, it should work. Now with all screws out, pot full of little screws, you also notice right here, I mean barely you can notice, there's the tiniest Phillips screw. Absolutely my dodgy fingernails. Yes, there. It's so tiny. That's a Phillips, a crosshead one, which goes right in this bottom corner, holding this speaker in. Now, it looks like there's a little tab there to push down a little bit to release this speaker. So I'll just gently prise a little bit to hopefully remove the speaker. I feel like it's pretty well in place for some reason. I think this might be glued in place, but it might not be. I need a small, tiny, flathead screwdriver like I've got one here that's bent to crazy. It does seem to be one to move, but it doesn't want to. Maybe I can leave that inside and remove the board without doing that. So I need to lift that up. Just needs to slide out as well at the same time. There we go, wish me luck. It's coming out a little bit, but not. So it's still holding in place. What I've actually just figured out is, I thought about this before I actually started this little bit here. When you're doing this, make sure you haven't got a memory card in, right? These really force themselves in, these memory cards. I don't think they're... Actually, I think I might have, yeah, pushed that memory card in too much. But yeah, a nice little 16 gig memory card came out there. I think that was holding things in place, to be honest. Let's put that cover back on, I don't want to lose that. Was it or wasn't it? I don't know. So it does feel like it's sliding out underneath the speaker, so I could probably get away with that. That one's off from there. That's soldered onto there. It does look like it's come off. Good. So I don't need to fully attach that anyway. I could probably put that screw back in and maybe that one. But does that actually come out? It's attached there. Ah, there we go. Right down here, there's another one of those little tabs there. I've clicked that one back in place. Just get this out of the way. So I want this out of the way, just so I can be a little bit easier to disassemble. So that's there as well. Is it? Is it that? Yes, it is. See, it's quite an awkward little thing to get off. And granted, I don't need this off, but I just want the thing to come out. Just for disassembly's sake. Why is that not attached? Come on, Ralph. You can do it. What about that ribbon cable that's next to? I'm not sure if that's anything to do with this or not. I think that's just the volume buttons underneath there. That is actually the volume buttons. There's a hole there as well. I'm not quite convinced this is going to come out. Ah, there we go. There we go. It is the controls for the side on here as well. So the volume up and down and the speaker assembly are all in one. That's a really weird speaker, really nice and fine, that. So that will come out, and that's now out of the way. I'll assume that if I go, yeah, and get things on there. So I might keep that separate as another box. But what I want to do is, I'm terrified of knackering things up on here at the moment. I'm going to put items like that in there. And another cautious bit. Put a lid on it. There we go. Now I can't lose these. Well, I could, but it'll take a bit. So, with parts out, battery I don't want to replace just yet. Ribbon cable, I have to be careful putting that one back in because that's the assembly for the power button. The button, that's just the buttons for the volume that's come out. That's fine, that will go in there, get a bit of a clean. I don't want the power button out because that will be held underneath that little tab underneath there. So far, I'm done and I'm ready. If I want to take this one out here, I've got 1, 2 screws out there, which that should then lift off, but I'm leaving that in place. Now, my problem was that I can't see that far. Now, to replace one of them is to my limit of soldering, because it's right inside there where I think either the connectors aren't very good, or potentially, if one of these is a fuse, I don't know. So I need to do some circuit checking. There is a small possibility, right? Sorry if I keep moving this around. That chip could be some sort of voltage regulation, and that could have gone. That could have blown. This might be perfectly fine, but it's not. It doesn't look straight to me. This. The look inside. Is it? No, it does seem perfectly fine inside there. As long as there's anything wedged in or anything like that. So, there we have it. So it's either going to be, for power, is either that one's replacing and I've ordered a new one, that one's replacing and that's going to be impossible to change. I don't even know what these two parts here are. Can I get in a lot further and focus? Nope. I don't know if I can. Nope, that's completely out of focus on the camera. Can I focus in? Come on, you know you can do it. See, what? I don't know. Anything there, well, there, could be at fault for the power. I'm just hoping it was just a power supply that's gone. If I have to replace, let me get the tweezers in. If I have to replace that, I ain't got a prayer. Again, sorry for the wobbles, but this is just as close as I can get. This is how small it is. My dodgy fingers, yep. I can't replace that. That's going to be impossible. These, oh, sorry, I don't know what these are, but at least I'm going to use this footage now to diagnose stuff when I get back in the house. I mean, if that chip is to blame, then I have got a heat gun. I've got no experience with a heat gun. But I will take a multimeter and I will attempt to see if all of these parts round there do actually work. So, with that, and I'll put that in there as well, I'm ready for the screen and I'm ready for this. So, we're going to pause the video there. It may take 10 days, it may take the new year. I don't know. Because the minute it's December and it's, well, actually it's not. The minute for me is November. It's the end of November. Just gone Black Friday, I think it was. And if I can get this part. Actually, I'm not ready, am I? I want to see if I can take this off here. I want to put things to one side and out of the way. And what I want to do is I'm going to get a heat gun off camera. I'm going to heat gun to try and remove this square part here because I know that's part of the digitizer. Just to try and heat that off and hopefully that it's just been stuck down and then a ribbon cable goes under it. And then attempt to remove the screen from the digitizer. And at the moment it's cold and I need to heat that adhesive up so I don't break the screen. Okay, so this is how not to do it. Again, this was mine. These are incredibly fragile. Obviously watching a YouTube video, thought, yeah, I can do that. The part on here, which would have removed the digitizer, yes, it was stuck down, which is fine, would have removed everything. Lot of heat to the glass side, would have been fine. However, like I say, these are extremely fragile. It's away, although you can see liquid and you can see a screen and you can see lots of cracks. So there is a fluid layer between this layer and this layer that wanted to have come off. So basically, I have knackered the screen. But ordering already the digitizer, this part is a complete waste of time because that one probably actually worked. I mean, there is cracks in the corner here because this was the first layer of the screen and it's not come off right. I think a little bit too quick, but I think I'd already damaged it anyway to start with. So this was just yeah, it's just one of them things that it probably wasn't going to be avoidable. So I think I already knackered this a year ago, a year and a half ago. So what I need to do is look at other options. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that that definitely is a store security mark thing. Because this little part here, don't know where that goes to. Possibly something behind the back of here. But this is just a not very expensive, but an expensive enough mat. So that's how you take things to pieces, but not the right way. I'll keep hold of this for a little longer, and I'm going to wait now for parts to arrive and see what I can sort out with this. I will need a new screen and the whole full assembly, But for a Generation 5, I'm probably best getting one from one that's already broken and then taking my time removing this part and then put it onto my own. So I'll be scouring eBay, scouring all sorts of places just to see if I can find one. And we'll continue this in a few minutes. Well, for me, it's going to be months, weeks or whatever, but for you, it'll be straight into it and we'll find the parts. Now, a few weeks has passed since we did the absolute cock-up on the screen on the Kindle. I mean, it is so delicate. I mean, it's so flexible. I'd say flexible, but it's not. But it is liquid. I am getting liquid from this because it is an LCD. Don't want to do too much in case it just shatters and just covers me. But this is definitely not a goer. So the week's gone by, hasn't gone unhelped or whatever. I have got another one. Now this one doesn't work. There's a couple of little scratches on the actual front itself, but it's a cheap, and the back's pretty scratched anyway. It's pretty much, yeah, it's always been in a case mine anyway. So what I want to do, all being well, is like I did at the beginning, I'm going to try and take this off without breaking it. I know I broke it before because behind here I need to be careful and study exactly what, where and how. So if this is that way around, this screen, I'll put this back together again. Sort of. That goes that way, that went there, this went... Did it go that way around? No, that way around. So that board was up there. Right, that connects to there. So this has to be that way around. Camera on top up here, which the camera assembly has gone anyway inside the pot. So it has to go that way around. So my idea of taking stuff off, which is this way, is along the side of here. No, actually along the side of here because it's mirrored. This strip along here really needs to be watched. Actually, both sides. It doesn't even look like it's been put on straight because it comes in there. Or have I ripped that off? No. It's like it just kind of comes out on this one layer, which is really thick down here. And you've still got the thinner layers which peter off to nothing. But yeah, we must be really careful on actually all four of the sides when it comes to the screen. But then you've got along here, this is where the sticky is. So the top and the bottom can be a little bit better to remove, but the left and the right hand side really have to be cautious. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to get isopropanol down the gap of here and see if that will soak into the part of the screen here. I'm not too bothered about isopropanol getting onto the battery, onto the gubbins inside the newer one, because it should be fine. I just need it to get all around this edge underneath here on that one, and we should be fine. I'm actually looking at this one. I'm not totally sure. There's a line there, the diagonal line right there, and there's a diagonal line on here. I'm not sure if that's a crack. There's one there as well. I'm not sure if these are cracks on the actual bit itself, on the metal frame, well, plastic framework around here, or whether or not it's just a part which goes from there to there, one from there to there, and then one from there to there. It looks too good an angle to be a random crack that I've done. So I'm gonna leave me with this. I'm gonna see what I can do. That looks funky, that. I like that as an art project. See right inside. Okay, I'm going to leave me with this and I'll see what I can do about loosening this off. This might take a day, this might take a week. It's cold in here, so that might help remove the sticky anyway. Also heat might remove the sticky better. So I need to get on with doing that to get off this screen. So leave me with this for a few bits and I'll see what I can do. Now, after a good 15 minutes, 20 minutes worth of soaking, this is how far I am. I'm just trying to get... I know there's not much of a gap anyway between the screen and the actual metal bezel part, the back part anyway, but it's the isopropanol is turning the glue to a kind of a gel, and I've just got to be so careful with this, and this is just trying to take my time because I didn't on the first one. Get a bit of isopropanol in, let it do its thing. I've got all this corner from there to there off. I don't want to go too far in case I do get the circuit board like I did last time. Just let the isopropanol soak in. I have got loads of this stuff. If you want to heat it up, that might work as well. Just try and make the sticky, the double-sided tape or whatever it is a little bit more compliant to help you out a little bit. I mean, all this side here is off, but I am still being careful because it's not fully off. I just don't want to damage anything. I know the top part and the bottom part we're away from any parts of the circuits, but I'm just letting the pressure of that being on there just to pull it up gently. And I've no cracks so far. Saying so far, I am a clumsy sod on a good day, but it's just getting things thin to try and get that first corner up, which it's fine. I mean, it's not going to come up in one go very quickly, and I can feel where the screen, with this being underneath here about there, I can feel where the screen is there. And I don't want to go, actually I do want to go behind the screen, don't I? Because if it is like that, there will be, where's the camera? Where is the camera? Ah, damn. Okay, the camera's there, the screen's down the bottom, so that means this part hasn't got anything. So it's literally, I'm underneath that metal bit here. So that's good. It's the side and the bottom that will have something. This is the easiest part. Yes, the camera's there. I have a spare. Ah, look at that, I was gone from there to there really quickly. But I'm going to get inside, just leave a little bit, get some isopropanol in there, let it do its job, and hopefully this should be done. It's not a rush, it's not a race. I'm not getting this off because I can do this really quickly. I want this because I want this off. Simple as. Bit more progress. We're down to here now. You can see on this part that it just turns the glue to string. It just makes it so too tacky. So it just almost dissolves it, but not enough, shall we say. So a little bit. I am using tons of isopropanol just to get this off in one piece. And I don't even care. It's got to come off. I just don't want to break it again. Now at this last stage here, I'm certain I've got a good peel up from this. There's the rubber seal, but it's double-sided tape really, so there is a plastic part as well as the actual adhesive on here, but I don't want to rush this last part. I know it's coming up, see, you can see it's coming, but I don't want to rush this because this is where I go wrong. The last bit and it just snaps. I need to take my time. If you're going to do this at home, please don't ask me to do this because I'm absolutely terrified of breaking this. It is up, it is fine. I can see inside. I can literally see inside it. But I want these little droplets of isopropanol just to go down. I'm trying to use anything plastic. I know I've got a metal spudger, but anything that plastic that will go into that little rut there and stay there and soak down to destroy the actual stuff is good for me. It is moving, I can see it is definitely getting in there, but a lot of the isopropanol is going into this mat here, that's why I've got that there. Didn't want to do that. To keep some sort of tension on the side of there. Now that corner there is coming up. This is just tense. It has to go this way up because the connectors are there. Once that's up, I can remove the connectors. I don't want to pull this too hard, but I also don't want to let it go. I have a rubber section there, which needs to come off because it's holding it down. Bit there, bit there. I don't need this. This is the tape holding it together. I will find something to reattach this to eventually. Oh, come on, Ralph, come on. I can see the battery there. I need to try and remove. Done it. I've removed where the battery goes, or at least this, I think it's a Wi-Fi section which goes on there. Come on, come on. Oh, you. Come off. Thank you. Beauty. So that is now fully off. I've disconnected that because I think it's part of from the to the mother, the MLB. That is done. That is fine. That is perfect. Isopropanol, kicking it in it, does actually work. So just basically doing what I did do before, which was putting this very spudger, and just try and loosen off this bit, damage these side bits. There's a, oh, what is that there? I think that part there wants to be inside. Nope, nope, hold on. That way, it wants to be inside here. Ah, it's like weights in the side of here. There's one missing there and one missing there. So it's actually pulled these bits out here. Metal parts. Don't know why they're there, but they're not wired up, they're not connected to anything. I will now clean up, because this is exactly the same image as the other one. Oh, I'm glad this has worked. Right, I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to put this on the other. Yeah. That's quite good, it's actually working. Cool. I'm going to clean up, tidy up, everything's covered in isopropanol. This wants taking off of all the sticky, gooey stuff and get ready to be transplanted onto the other case. It just come off, look. The isopropanol is good. The sticky stuff is really good, but isopropanol wins at the end. So tidy up. That's how you take up a screen. I'm assuming most things are like that, but if they're kind of made a lot better than what this is. I mean, there's a lot of the Samsung new phones, they're so bonded together it's ridiculous. This is just a double-sided black tape, which is nice. It does work, but you're not going to go swimming with this. You're not going to go underneath the water with it. With the Samsung S21, you will do, because you're insane. And why would you put like £1,000 worth of technology underwater just on the promise of it's gonna work? So let me get on with this and tidy up. Quick update while I'm here. I'm just trying to test something. The screen worked fine before, I'm sure, and I put the old board back in and I'm getting absolutely zero anything. The power switch is on. The speaker switches, well, the speaker ribbon cable's on, the ribbon cable to the actual screen, the touch screen is on, the battery is known to be fully charged and done, and it will not power on. So I think the board part on here is completely fried. So what I'm going to do is take, what I didn't want to do, because I've actually noticed, right, this is the new board. Inside, the power supply looks a little bit knackered. So it did charge, it was showing something, it just wasn't fully working properly anyway. But inside there, oh, where's the camera? There it is. Right. It's broken, but it did charge up. So what I might have to do is, seeing as the board on mine does not want to work, I'm gonna have to change that. But I'm not comfortable in changing it. It's too finicky. So what I'm going to do is just have a look and see about if I can clean this up. It does feel sticky, like it's got the glue inside it. But the back of this was scratched worse than what mine is. It's basically going to be, at the end of this, that's going to be fitted inside here. So it's going to be the board that will be changed over. Hopefully the battery never blew when I had problems with this, but it's just I wish that power supply was better. Either that or there is something in there which is just holding everything back, but I think it's chipped in the corner. Hopefully the connections will be fine, unless I break it now. I don't want to. I mean, I'm going to try and show you side by side, but I have got the new one here, which if I can change this, I will do. But unfortunately, it'll be have to replace onto the second board and not the original board. So it's not really going to plan. I mean, for soldering in, yeah, that's my thumbnail. But to try and get this soldered in, I've got to get the old one off. I've got to get these 5 little contacts onto the board. I don't think this is a push fit. It's got to be soldered on somehow. Yeah, work for a living, get over it. And soldering these 4 legs in place. Whether or not it might be lucky that this might unsolder. I'm going to try it with the board in the old board to see if unsoldering these 4 legs here and then it will just sit on the board. That might actually work. If it's not soldered in place, then I might get lucky. So I'm going to test this board in the old board, yeah, and see if I can get that off easily by just unsoldering 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's more in, I'm not touching this one because this does somehow work. I just got to clean up and hope for the best that it's going to work. So let's see what I can do. Right, a little experimenting so you don't have to. Right, this is the old board. This is the old, well, I thought it was the broken one, but it's not that. That's broken. The USB micro connector. It is something else that's on this board, and I cannot fix it because it is too small. I thought, cleverly, that you take these 4 corners off and it'll be left with just this thing pushing onto it. It's not. They are soldered on. It is a heat gun job, and I don't have the ability to do that. So this is now toast. This is now parts for whatever, and will not work. So I've got no problem at all in just putting this back on eBay for parts and spares. This was mine. This is fine. So what I need to do now is I have cleaned this out as best I can. The socket inside is a little bit, I don't know if it's, what is it is inside here. If it is burnt and it is shorted out, then this ain't going to last long. But there's enough connectors in there to do what I need it to do. It should be fine. I'm not deciding whether or not it feels a little bit gummy, like there's something inside there, but there's also a crack in the corner anyway. So there is enough contact to do what we need to. So we're going to reassemble with my good board, with my good back, and with good parts. So I already tried to start putting the speaker back in place, but unfortunately it's a pain in the bum. So I need to get on with putting this back into my original. All being well, the battery on my original works. I just don't fully know. I need to assemble this a certain amount to see if this battery works. If not, I'm peeling the other one off the other one and see what I can do. At the minute, it's just it's just seeing what I can get. It's 2 bad Kindle Fires, and I'm trying to make a good one out of 2 bad. Right, as you can see, this isn't back together again fully. I've put a couple of screws on the board, powered it up, put the USB on, and it is charging. This battery in here was absolutely flat, and I've got, oh, I haven't got a line, that's fine. That's line is the progress line. It's in just a sec, checking for software updates, please wait. Okay, so this is actually working. The socket on here isn't that good. There is definitely a problem with that socket, but we know that anyway. I think I made a noise in it being plugged. Yeah, it is. I think it's connected. I think it's the outer casing, but it just needs squashing in a little bit more. So it's actually going to nip it. It just doesn't seem to nip it properly. So I need to screw things back together again. Shutting down, power off. That's okay. At least another battery in here worked. So what was the fault with this originally? Was something happened? I think the power supply burned out, and it's definitely blown something probably around this area, and this is too small for me to even attempt to do. So we will then, this is toast basically. We can't do anything with this at all, even replacing that and flattening down the board again. It's not really going to work at all. So something definitely went, power rail probably around there. It's probably going to be that little tiny black chip, but I don't know. So I need to get this back together again. We did figure out that these lines across here as well are just production bits anyway. So I'll take that board runner off. So this actually is working well. So I'm going to screw all this back in together, replace the camera, and get this thing back together again properly. I was worrying that this battery would have blown, but it does seem to be perfectly fine. So we can keep that as is for the time being. There we go. Back together. It's booting up now with the fire, as you can see there on the screen. Could do with the brightness up a little bit, to be honest, but yeah, that's fine, really. It needs a good charge. The battery in here from the original one of mine, it was completely flat when the actual fault did happen with the board. But this is fine. This is booting up. There's not stuck in the boot loop or anything like that. It is perfectly fine and working, and I'm happy that I've got at least one of them working. It should go through the setup to get my old system on there, and I don't know whether it's going to show any emails or not, so there might be a quick jump, skip or whatever on this video for absolutely no reason. I'll turn volume up just a second. Volume's not working, but I don't expect it to because it's not in. Oh, hello. Ah, it will do. It's basically just booting up for a second anyway. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it jumped up and do whatever. Right, what I'm going to do with the other one, I'm going to put it all back together again and potentially use it as spares, because there is a perfectly good battery in the back of that. So whenever this battery actually does eventually go, this isn't a broken screen, by the way. This is perfectly fine, unless it is absolutely cream crackered. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's just one of the background screens. It looks really freaky, like it is cracked along there, but it's not. It's fine. So I'm going to end it there. I'm going to call that a win and a lot of spare parts. Right, in actual looking back on this, for the price of what these Kindle Fires are, and this one being a 5th generation, and I think the latest one's a 9th, I don't recommend doing this. It is kind of... It's still booting up, just a second. Very interesting. It is a nice little thing to have. I want one of these next to where I'm watching television, just so I can just scoot around and look at something. But they are cheap enough to buy. If you've broke one, go get a new one. They're already backed up on whatever cloud that they do for Amazon, and it's fine. It works perfectly well. Just getting another new one. Wait till the sales. Christmas, Black Friday, New Year's. There'll always be a sale on Amazon. Go get yourself one. So that in mind, thanks for watching. It's working fine, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now. And just to prove it is actually working, I've got the charge light in the corner there. Yes, I know that's a little bit iffy. It is on Wi-Fi. I've got my settings. It scrolls. Yes, we are working fine.